All right, my name is Liam. If you're new here, I just do stuff and I talk about what I've learned. So tune in. Someone asked me recently, how do you find your purpose? Because I've talked a lot about pursuing your purpose on my channel, but maybe you don't know what that thing is. For me, it's been YouTube, but maybe you have no idea what it is. And so how would you know, how would you pursue something if you don't even know the destination? Now, firstly, I want to properly define purpose. So I think purpose is just the feeling that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's really an absence of what ifs. It's not you're working at Chick-fil-A and wondering, oh, what if I started this thing? Or, oh, what if I started YouTube? No. When you're chasing a purpose, you know you're aligned with it when there are no other what ifs. And let me just say that the outcome is not what you're chasing. Me with YouTube, I'm not chasing the outcome of getting X number of subscribers. I know that I'm fulfilling the purpose because I enjoy the process of doing it. You do not want to delude yourself to think that you want to choose an endeavor that has an achievement and that's when you'll be happy. No, your purpose is when you're doing something that the act in itself fulfills you. Now, the only reason I'm talking about this is one, because somebody asked me, but two, because I feel like I've found mine. So I feel credible enough to literally tell you at least how I did it. If it doesn't work for you, fine. But if it does, you can at least give it a try. So I'm going to tell you my story and I'm going to build off of that. So if we go back, I'm in college now, but I was a military kid, so I was always moving around and I always had to mold myself into new friend groups, find new friends. And so I always had this pervasive fear that I was not going to be enough. I was insecure, had a bunch of acne, I had messed up teeth, and I was pretty scrawny, whatever. And I always played lacrosse. And it was funny because I played lacrosse simply because I was good at it and everyone told me I was good at it. And so I just did lacrosse because everyone told me to. But I had this weird feeling inside that it wasn't what I wanted to do, but I never acknowledged it until later on, and I'll get to that. So I play lacrosse sophomore year, and I'm really growing into the fact that, okay, I don't think this is what I want to do. I always thought I was going to play lacrosse in college, and that year, there was such a shift. I was like, okay, I don't really think I want to do this past high school. I didn't really tell my dad or anything, because what would I do? Then I had fixed my acne and my teeth, and so I was starting to gain some confidence, and I decided, well, I'm gonna start working out. My dad's been huge into CrossFit, so I'm just gonna start working out and see what happens. I'm gonna actually work out to build muscle this time. So I go into my basement gym, and I start lifting weights. And it was really only a month and a half, maybe 2 months later, where people were like, yo, those at-home gym workouts are really starting to show. And I was like, what? Really? And my parents and family would say the same thing. They're like, yo, those workouts you're looking big. And then I look in the mirror and I'm like, yo, what the heck? And so I realized that I had found something that I really, really, really enjoyed. Nobody forced me to do it. I completely fell into it completely on my own. So that's one of the first signs. When you fall into something without being pushed into it, that could be an indicator that that's one of your passions or purposes. Now, fast forward, I'm going through high school, going to the gym, kind of pouring my passion into the gym. And then I realized I don't have a massive desire to go to college, but like, what else would I do? Then I learned about entrepreneurship. So then I had these big, massive goals of getting rich. I had no idea what it would look like, but I was like, that's gonna be me. And so I got immersed in the grind culture of it all and just work, be miserable until you get rich, whatever. And I wouldn't say I was fulfilled by that, but I was definitely consumed by that. And so I'm reading all these books, and it's my senior year of high school. And if we go way back, I had always liked making videos. I loved it. I would make videos on my mom's phone. As soon as I got an iPod, I was making videos. And so I always had this feeling in the back of my head that I think I could really make videos and people would like them. My whole senior year, junior year, I just kind of pushed it to the side because I thought, no, dude, I don't want people to see my videos. That's not even worth it. Got out of high school and I realized, well, shoot, what am I gonna do? So here we are. About 9 months ago, I started doing YouTube, and as soon as I started doing it, I felt that passion. I felt that purpose. And so it's a feeling that you already have inside of you that you probably haven't even paid attention to. But maybe you go to the gym and it fires you up. That's the best way I can describe it. You feel innate passion when you do your purpose. Maybe it's teaching people. Maybe it's teaching people how to work out. Maybe it is playing a sport. Maybe it's something that you've always known you've wanted to do, but you just haven't started for whatever reason. That is probably the purpose. And let me tell you, this is the best part of it all. It's not that you're going to chase a purpose and one day be happy. No, when you're chasing the purpose, the entire journey is fulfilling. The day I started YouTube was when I started my liberating process. I felt liberated. I felt free immediately. I knew that I was doing exactly what I wanted to do. And so there was the friction along the way. There was people that would see my videos, whatever. But I genuinely felt so free that no matter what else was happening, I was still going to school, I was still working, still doing everything. But I knew that every single day I was taking a step towards something that I have always wanted to do, always. And I know that YouTube is a really, really long-term game. So I just gotta keep posting and posting and posting and posting. But every single day since the day I started, I have been 10 times happier because I just did what I knew I wanted to do, but neglected. So genuinely think on this for a few days. When you're driving in your car, turn off the music, drive for 10 minutes, and recollect, what do I do that makes me feel that spark? When I talk about, I have a few things. I have YouTube especially is a big one because there's so much opportunity in it. I love doing it. Nobody else is doing it in my circle. And so I love it. It fires me up every time I make a video, after I make a video, whatever it is. I'm filled with passion, even when I'm working so hard. So you have to ask yourself, one way you can phrase it is, if you knew you wouldn't fail, what would you do? If you knew you'd be immensely successful at whatever it is, what would you do? Think about that for a second. Genuinely, what is that? I think for me, that was always YouTube. When I would answer that question, it was like, oh, I know I should make a YouTube, but I'm just afraid. As soon as I started it, I had 20 views. I felt 10 times happier. I knew I was going towards the purpose. And I knew that I wouldn't stop because you haven't failed until you quit. And a lot of these things are way longer term games than people are comfortable with. But to me, it doesn't matter because I get enough from this just in the act of doing it. And I think those types of people are the ones who end up succeeding regardless. Because once you give everything up, only then can you actually have it all. And that doesn't mean don't do anything. That means do exactly what you want to do, but do it detached from the outcome. Do things for the sake of doing them. If you're making YouTube videos, do it for the sake of making the video, not to get a certain outcome. If you're playing sports, do it for the sport, not to go to college, those can be goals, but you're playing the sport because you actually like it. That's how you know that it's a purpose. There's somewhere in your life, whether you've identified it or not, which if you have, then cool. You know exactly what you need to do. You just need to pursue it in even the smallest capacity every single day. But if you don't know what your purpose is, it's mostly just thinking about what you do in your day-to-day life that creates that spark. It just fires you up. What is that? And if you can't think of anything, then you need to go out and start trying stuff. You need to try new hobbies. You need to try new sports. And if you can't find anything, post on YouTube, post on TikTok. Do it every day because that's the worst case scenario. you're making progress towards something if you're utilizing this social media stuff, because so many people use it casually, they consume, but very few people take it seriously and create. Because you can productize yourself out of nothing with this stuff. So even if you don't think you know what avenue you're going to go down, I personally think if you're posting on these every day, you can rest assured that you're moving towards something. And then what that thing is will reveal itself along the way.